What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope you're having a great Saturday. I am out and about. I am getting prepared for tomorrow. I've got myself a 13-pound piece of ribeye this morning. I'm not cooking all that for the steak and cheese sub. No, it was on sale. So one of the things I do is when stuff's on sale and you know you're going to be using it, you buy a lot of it so that way you save in the long run. So you save $3 a pound. Hey, buy up and stock up on it. The worst time to buy something is when you actually need it because you can't get deals. If you can stock up on stuff before you need it, you're better off if you buy it on sale, because then you can wheel and deal and stuff, and you can take your time. But anyway, tomorrow night we're gonna 24 hours from right now, I'll be live streaming, getting ready for the Giants game, for the 1 o'clock game. We'll be rolling through the 4 o'clock games, and then of course to the Cowboys game. And it's going to be a long day, but I love it. I love football. We're already here at week number 6. And I was sitting here thinking this morning because last year I was called a crazy man. Well, let's back this up. I've been called all kinds of things for years, but it's specifically by Giant fans. It was the first time we'd actually heard from them when I started to say, and let me clarify this right now. When I'm talking about Micah Parsons and LT, I'm talking about at this point in Lawrence Taylor's career versus Micah Parsons in this point in his career. There's no guarantee that Micah Parsons will be able to play for 10 years, okay? There's no guarantee that he doesn't have something that happens that ends up sidetracking him. I'm only talking about how Lawrence Taylor started his career and how Micah Parsons is, and that's the comparison. But when I started that out last year, because what we were witnessing was insane. The fact that he got 13 sacks his rookie year, had DeMarcus Lawrence not come back, I believe he would have had the rookie sack record. Because once they brought back D-Law, it was now D-Law was back there on defensive end, and it was kind of, where are we doing with Micah Parsons? Now the Cowboys, Dan Quinn has his own playbook just for Micah Parsons, and you're seeing him in a multitude of positions on there, coming from all over the place. And so here's a couple interesting things, and the reason why I say we're talking about at this point in their career. For example, I was sitting here thinking in my mind, Micah Parsons right now is at 19 sacks. 19 sacks, he's had 21 games. He's averaging almost a sack a game. And I was trying to find out who was the fastest to 20 sacks. I didn't find that while I'm out and about and all that. I probably got to dig a little deeper when I'm sitting on my computer. But I did find out the fastest person to 30 sacks. It had been, now understand too, one other problem is they didn't start keeping sacks as a stat until 1982. Okay? So we can't go back and look what Deacon Jones or Gino Marchetti's or, guys like that, Ed Too Tall Jones did, because they didn't keep it as a statistic. I guess they could go back through the games and count them and stuff, and I think that would be actually kind of cool to really be able to set the records and things straight. But so far, nobody's actually done that, because Deacon Jones swears he had 28 in a 14-game season. He says, look at the film, and I wish they would look at the film and do that. But anyway, be that as it may, to 30 sacks, Reggie White had been the holder of the fastest person to 30 sacks, which is, unbelievable. Nobody can dispute that Reggie White was one of the greatest defensive players in the history of the NFL. But Aldon Smith actually beat Reggie White to 30 sacks, and he did it in 27 games, which is unbelievable. Unfortunately, he ended up having demons that had him suspended for 4 years, and his career was short-ended. And that's where I say, I'm not saying that Micah Parsons' career and Lawrence Taylor's career are identical. I'm just saying the path that is starting out. So here we are right now. And when I talk about Lawrence Taylor, and when I say that Lawrence Taylor and Micah Parsons, you have to put them in the same category. Lawrence Taylor, his first year and his second year combined, first 2 years combined, 2 16-game seasons, he ended up with 17 sacks. Micah Parsons is only 6 games into his second season and has 19. And I know what you're going to say. Yeah, well, true. But they didn't pass as much back when Lawrence Taylor played, which is it's a great argument there. It's a great argument. So you'd have to actually look at tackles. Unfortunately, we can't go back to all of the tackles and things and compare those numbers. But here's what I will say, why you can compare what Micah Parsons is doing to what Lawrence Taylor did. And this was the thing that when I've had discussion with Rashid and Bad Dog and things like that, that, you know, they think back to Lawrence Taylor and they'll say, he was a game changer. Well, you got to look at it and say, the reason the Dallas Cowboys right now are 4-1 is because the Dallas Cowboys are one of the top teams at sacking the quarterback. The Dallas Cowboys are the top team when it comes to putting pressure on the quarterback. The Dallas Cowboys defense goes as Micah Parsons does. And so you have to look at him and say, he is a game changer. The fact that you heard Nick Sirianni talking about how they are going to game plan against Micah Parsons and account for him every single play speaks volumes. You're already seeing that Micah Parsons is changing the game, because the difference of when you've had an Aldon Smith, who's an outside linebacker technically, was just a straight edge rusher. He lined up every single play as an edge rusher. That's not what the Cowboys have been doing solely with Micah Parsons. He's only a part-time edge rusher. He's about 250 pounds. Not exactly that big of a guy, but his speed, his technique, and his tenacity, where he can come off the edge, where he can come up the middle, where he can blitz as a linebacker. Oh, and he can also cover. So when you talk about Lawrence Taylor, nobody saw anybody like Lawrence Taylor with that kind of speed on the edge going after the quarterback. He revolutionized the game. Now what you're seeing is, you're seeing Micah Parsons, who is this hybrid linebacker edge rusher who is coming at you from everywhere. You have not seen anyone as effective as Micah Parsons like this. You've seen great linebackers that can cover and do things like that are great at stopping the run. You've seen great edge rushers that are great at getting to the quarterback. You're seeing a guy who is great in both positions, and nobody has seen that before. And this may be your future prototype of a linebacker, that a guy that becomes the thorn in the side for offenses because you don't know where it's coming from. And see, that, my friends, is where the comparison of what Lawrence Taylor did in his day versus what Micah Parsons is beginning to do in his. Now, it takes many, many years. I mean, we saw RG3 literally seeming like this was going to be the new breed of quarterback with the pistol offense and what he did his rookie year. But due to an injury and teams recognizing that he wasn't good in the pocket, they realized if we keep him in the pocket and make him pass, he's not going to be effective. And without the leg, he was no longer that guy in the offense, basically petered out. But this is where Micah Parsons, thus far, unlike Chase Young, where they talked about generational talent, his rookie year was 7 sacks. Micah Parsons has 6 already in 5 games. And if he gets one tomorrow night, that will take him already to 20 sacks in his career in 22 games. That's rare air, guys. And I don't know how you can argue that what Micah Parsons is doing right now versus what Lawrence Taylor was doing in his day right now, that it's not comparable. Now, we'll see 10 years from now if we can say Micah Parsons' career is as good or better than Lawrence Taylor. But he has the jump right now of being that guy that maybe, just maybe, they won't be saying in the future, that guy is like Lawrence Taylor. They'll start saying, that guy is comparable to Micah Parsons. I'm sure I'll get plenty of hate. I'm sure I'll get plenty of hate from the Giant fans. But this is the stage tomorrow night. This is the stage tomorrow night that you can set the record straight. That you can really, in prime time, show everybody how great you are. And we'll see what the Cowboys do. Okay, so far, I got my meats, I got my cheeses, right? I got my meat and my cheeses. We're gonna do cowboy chili tomorrow, which is a spicy sweet chili. Yeah, with the multiple kinds of, like 3 kinds of beans. And we're gonna have the glizzies, and we're gonna have the Joe Boo wings. We gonna have it all for you guys. And I will see you 5 o'clock for our live stream. Peace.